And you were the proudest thing I'd ever seen. And you were the proudest thing I'd ever seen. And I knew that I couldn't say a thing. And I knew that I couldn't say a thing. When you felt starstruck at the feet of the crow-black monarchs. When a pigeon comes to greet you, sometimes it's hard to tell exactly what it means when the sounds they make swell. And whose side are you on? Whose side are you on? There's no one here but me. And whose side are you on? Whose side are you on? There's no one here but me.
Welcome back in, and happy Tuesday, February the 4th. Hope you guys are doing good out there. On this nice foggy morning here in West Tennessee. A little chillier than it was yesterday, but it's going to be just fine today. From the text line already, the answer is yes. Man, not many people know this. Yes. It says, is this Maps and Atlases? Yes, this is Maps and Atlases. It's hard to mistake that voice if you've heard it a time or two. David Davidson, Maps and Atlases. Got a whole lot to get to today. My favorite so far of the news that I have seen this morning. The hacking group Anonymous has waged war on President Donald Trump. Couldn't happen to a nicer dictator, right? Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Anonymous has hacked Donald Trump. Apparently, they have released his Social Security number, his personal phone number, amongst other things. And old Donald Trump says, I will not stand for this. I will not stand for this. Well, you're going to have to. You can sit, you can stand, you can bend over for all I care. You're going to have to. Hey, I mean, the way I see it is this. You decided to let Elon Musk have all of our information. You don't mind Elon having our Social Security numbers and all that information, our personal info, right? So it's only fair. He vows, we're going after them. We're going to find them. You know, to this day, there has not been a single anonymous hacker who's ever been identified. Not one. And Anonymous has been hacking people and exposing people like this for so very long. Not a single one. I do like their branding. We are Legion. Basically, don't piss off Anonymous. They will come for you, and it will be unpleasant for you. That was the top of the news this morning in my headlines. Made me smile. It's a nice start to the day. Got a great show for you. 3 hours of radio. I say 3 hours. I hope I get through that 3 hours today. I like to be very honest with my friends and my listeners. This has been what my diet has consisted of since about, I don't know, 2 o'clock this morning. Yep, that's the life I'm on right now. So I'm going to try to make it to 3 hours. Surely I can do that. think I might have eaten something a little weird. It's 54 degrees at McKellar-Sipes Regional Airport, 12 degrees Celsius for those of you playing along at home. Where I'm sitting right now in North Jackson, the world headquarters, it is 49 degrees. A little foggy still. I still got a little fog. Looking out both the windows on either side here at the desk at world headquarters. Yeah, a little foggy still. Have no fear. It will burn off eventually. High today looks to be about 50, or 60, 64 degrees for a high today. Low tonight, about 51 degrees. For your Wednesday, a chance of showers before 9 a.m., then a chance of showers and thunderstorms after that. Some possibly heavy. As for tomorrow, for your Wednesday, a high near 70. Chance of rain, about 70%. 10th to a quarter of an inch of rain possible. That's what we're looking at for tomorrow. And for tomorrow night, some rain showers, thunderstorms going to stick around. About a 40% chance of some rain on into the evening. For your Thursday, chance of showers and thunderstorms before 9 a.m. Then showers between 9 and 3. I hate how Noah writes these. I have to be completely honest. I absolutely hate how Noah writes these. If I read it verbatim, it says this: a chance of showers and thunderstorms before 9 a.m., then a chance of showers between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m., then a chance of showers and thunderstorms after 3 p.m. We'll just say it's going to rain all day. Partly sunny, high near 75 degrees on Thursday. About a 50% chance of that wet weather. New rainfall amounts less than 1/10 of an inch. For your Thursday night, showers are going to stick around mainly before midnight. Another maybe 1/10 to a quarter of an inch of rain. For your Friday, high of 60. Friday night, mostly clear. Saturday, 30% chance of showers. In the afternoon, a high pushing 80 degrees. Here for it. I got the text line, the peanut gallery lighting up. Let's go straight here. Good evening, Jay White. If you're nauseous, lemon water will stop it in its tracks. Appreciate it. I wish that was the end that I was worried about. But I'll keep that in mind. I love lemon water. Let's see. From online, bumblebees hibernate. I'll have to look that up. How about a new tradition of climate prediction? We'll have to put our heads together on that one, brother. Also, happy National Fettuccine Alfredo Day. I didn't see that on mine. Let's see what my national days are. Fascinating. No, I didn't have that one on mine. Appreciate that, Logan, very much. I got today, February the 4th, National Hemp Day. National Hemp Day. Here for that. It's also National Homemade Soup Day. Sign me all the way up. All the way up. Homemade soup. It's National Creative Vacuum Day. Not like for your carpets. Like the vacuum of space. It's National Thank a Mail Carrier Day today. So if you happen to see your mailman, tell him thanks. I know, Logan, you do something adjacent to that. So I guess if I can extend it to your occupation, I'll say thanks. Thanks for all you guys do out there, all you guys and gals. Logan, we were talking yesterday a little bit about some of that what's happening in Jackson, Tennessee, which man, you know how I get about that. I love it. I don't know if you saw this one this morning. I have to comment on it on air. I have to. On the what's happening in Jackson, Tennessee page today. This woman, I'm just going to put her on blast. Oh, only reason you know is because you got a text from Fazoli's. You know, that's a guilty pleasure of mine. Maybe once a year, I want basically what is Chef Boyardee that I have to go pick up. Somebody else warms up the Chef Boyardee for me. I like their breadsticks. They do not reheat well. They do not reheat well. I also have questions as to why you're on a text chain from Fazoli's. Maybe you just ate there and gave him your number one time. Let's see, I'm going to put this person on blast. Jonice Jackson. On the What's Happening in Jackson, Tennessee page says, Mexico and Canada, this is from this morning. Mexico and Canada dropped to their knees faster than Kamala at a fundraiser. Did you see this? Well, I think it's time to put this woman on blast. I couldn't let myself not comment. I said, imagine simultaneously loudly not understanding what actually happened between us and those two countries, while also showing everyone the levels of class you don't have on a public forum. You're doing bad, and you should feel bad. People lit her up, too. When I saw it originally, I thought, this woman's got, I didn't look to see if it was a man or a woman. I was like, what a misogynist. What a sexist. And then after looking at it, I was like, it's a lady. But people are doing their work. People are doing the right thing. I mean, lighten this fool up. And the thing is, I guarantee that this woman, I guarantee she claims to be a Christian. There's no doubt in my mind that this woman thinks she's a Christian. Isn't your president the one who simulated oral sex on a microphone weeks before you guys elected him into office? But yes, let's make jokes about how, and I don't like her. I don't think she does a good job. I do not like Kamala Harris. But she was an AG. She was a prosecutor. She was the vice president. And they say, well, she's not qualified. Donald Trump, why are you qualified? I don't like her, but those seem like a whole lot more qualifications. From the text line, I sure hope she's not a Christian writing sentences. Let's see. I sure hope you're not a Christian writing sentences the way you do. People like you are why so many of us young adults do not even enter. That was one of the comments on that thread. I just wanted to put old Jonice Jackson on blast for a second. Highly doubt she'll hear this. But if that's your friend, someone come get your friend. Somebody come get your friend. What a horrible, horrible thing to say. On this day in history, February the 4th. Born in 1973, American boxer Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya. We're having fun. Born on this day in 1959, American football player Lawrence Taylor. Born on this day all the way back in 1947, former Vice President of these United States, Dan Quayle. American actress, director, and screenwriter Ida Lupino, born on this day in 1918. And the dear, the great American civil rights activist Rosa Parks was born on this day back in 1913. She was born in Tuskegee, Alabama. She died at the age of 92, October the 5, at her home in Detroit, Michigan. Rosa Parks, who would be having an absolute shit fit right now if she was alive to see what is going on. On this day in 2012, British servicewoman Florence Green, the last surviving veteran of World War I, died at age 110. Sheesh. And the day it all changed. I know some of you are watching on this app. On this day back in 2004, the website Facebook was launched as, quote, thefacebook.com. It was the Facebook. For those who are not old enough to remember that, later it would become the largest social media network in the world. And now it is Meta. And Meta owns Instagram and all of that good stuff. The day it all changed. Today, 2004, the website Facebook, originally thefacebook.com, was launched. On this day in 2003, Yugoslavia officially changed its name to Serbia and Montenegro. Interesting story. If you ever get a chance to look it up, there's some good podcasts about it actually out there. On this day in 1974, newspaper heiress Patty Hearst was kidnapped by members of the Symbionese Liberation Army. Look into that sometime if you get a chance. It's a fascinating story. And as I say all the time, we can always thank Great Britain for the majority of the independence days around the world. What is now Sri Lanka gained its independence from Great Britain on this day not too long ago in 1948. On this day in 1938, Thornton Wilder's Our Town, a classic portrayal of small-town America, made its Broadway debut. In 1932, the United States hosted its very first Winter Olympic Games. On this day, starting on this day in 1932 in Lake Placid, New York. Born on this day in 1902, American aviator Charles Lindbergh, who was one of the best known figures in aeronautical history. He was born on this day in Detroit, Michigan. And on this day in 1789, George Washington was elected to serve as the first United States president by a unanimous vote in the very first electoral college. And that's a brief rundown of what was going on this day in history, February the 4th. Making sure I didn't miss any good ones. I don't think I did. I think that's all. Facebook was the big one for me. Ugh. Thanks. Thanks, but no thanks, Facebook. From the text line. Doing some different music today. Yes. Yes, I am. Just a little bit of chill wave. Some retro vibes. Some chill synths. I can dig it. Can you dig it? Got a call coming in real quick. We're going to go straight to the call-in line. Let me get this all piped down. Caller, go ahead. You're live.
What up, JUW?
What's up, Eddie V? How are we?
I'm good. Still can't watch you without having to watch, or still can't listen to you without having to watch you.
Is the YouTube not working?
Well, it's working, but every time I silence my phone down so I don't have my screen on, it just goes away. So
maybe update your app on the YouTube.
Okay.
Maybe that's it. Because I know that there's a couple folks right now I can see online who are watching on the YouTube app. And I'm pretty sure they're probably, I don't know. I've tried it the other day and I know that it worked on mine. So it just might be yours. How's your morning going, brother?
Good, man. Just chilling, getting ready for Symphony coming up.
Is that the 14th?
Yes.
Yep. I was supposed to go to that.
Yep. We cater that, so it's going to be busy.
Yeah, I'm sure. I had tickets to go to that. But then those people decided they would like to shit can everybody without telling anybody ahead of time. And so I guess I lost my ticket. Maybe I'll go ask them, hey, do I still have that ticket that I got? Y'all going to still let me go?
I can sit with them and everything.
Yeah, right. Sit with them, everything.
Yeah, they'd be comfortable. It was good to see you yesterday, my brother.
Man, it was great to run into you as well. I caught you right as you were getting off.
Yes, sir.
That was cool.
All right, buddy.
That was cool, man.
Try to listen.
All right, man. When I see you next, I will do my best to see if we can't figure out the problem with the app.
All right, brother, man. Let me know when you come in.
I will. I didn't think you were there yesterday. I thought that you were already gone, so I didn't say anything to anybody. I'm sorry about that.
All right, buddy. Have a great one.
All right, see you, brother. Love you very much. That's my buddy Eddie V. Who I used to always say Eddie V from across the street, but now he's Eddie V from down the road. Over at the blacksmith. That's my guy right there now, I tell you what. Everybody needs him a friend like Eddie V. He's good people. Had a meeting yesterday. Excuse me. Regarding some things that are some big moves we're going to be making with the show here. Back around and find out the live stream, a little radio for the rest of us. We're supposed to be at Turntable Coffee downtown. And my buddy and partner in crime on this, Mirza Babik, said, how about we meet over at the blacksmith? I could stand a beverage. And I said, I got you. So we did. And I saw Eddie V. It was great to see him. From the Peanut Gallery, it says, video's much better. Audio from phone is great. Yeah, I think I'm finally starting to get it all figured out. It only took me a week and a couple of days. But I think it is doing a lot better. I appreciate that, Bill, very much. I hope you're having a good morning, brother. Y'all know how much I like my world records. Guinness World Records, to be exact. Old David Record Breaker Rush, who holds the most world records for holding world records. His most concurrent world records also, actually. He added another one to his name by using his mouth to bounce a table tennis ball off of a wall 47 times in 30 seconds. The risk of maybe it's just because I've got a 4-year-old. The first thing I thought was he's going to choke. That was the first thing I thought. This man's going to choke. Because he's putting it in his mouth, he spits it out, bounces it off the wall, catches it back in his mouth. So, like, without using, no hands, right? That's the whole point, is no hands. Just back and forth. David Record Breaker Rush took on the bouncing challenge during a visit to Guinness World Record headquarters in London. He broke another one that same day, actually. Rush had previously broken the record with 43 bounces, defeating the original record of 34. He smashed his own record, managing 47 bounces in the allotted 30 seconds. I guess there's something for everybody. I was talking when John Lovelace was so kind enough to be a guest of mine on Friday. We were talking about that and how what it must be like to be married to this guy. Honey, I'm going to break another record today. Okay, dear, be careful. Another Guinness record that was broken recently. I'm talking in the last couple of days. A Turkish man. It's going to make me say his name, isn't it? Yep, there it is. I see it coming up. We'll all do it together. A Turkish man used his powerful throwing arm to lob an axe. Get this, a distance of 183 feet. 8.72 inches. He threw an axe almost 200 freaking feet, earning his 8th Guinness record title in the process. Osman, wow, there's a bunch of diphthongs in that. I'm going to say it's Gyurku. That's the best I'm going to get. Osman Gyurku, 43 years old, broke the record for the farthest distance axe thrown. When he struck his target, yeah, by the way, he threw it at a target. It's a distance further than the length of an Olympic swimming pool, which is only 164 feet long. The previous record of 143 feet was set by American Jesse Rude. Quote, "It was an incredible feeling to break the record because this distance is very far." And you have to be able to get far at really, guys. This is the interview y'all are putting up here for this gentleman. I'm sure that he's a very, very nice guy. And y'all are gonna do him this way. He's Turkish. You didn't have to do it completely verbatim. I'll read it verbatim. "It was an incredible feeling to break the world record because the distance is very far, and you have to be able to get far, and at the same time, the axe has to get stuck in the target board." That's what this gentleman told Guinness World Records. He said, "I hit it many times, but it didn't get stuck, and I never gave up." They really did that man dirty. His previous Guinness record titles include the farthest basketball hook shot, 82 feet. The longest cornhole shot, 85 feet. The farthest throw of a rubber chicken, 115 feet. This guy seems like a good sport. And he's got a hell of an arm on him. I mean, that's a full-on axe. He's not throwing a hatchet. Jeez. I'm going to take him on my zombie apocalypse team. Day one. First round draft pick. My Turkish brother right here. Osman Gyurku. 43 years old. Threw an axe and hit the target at 183 feet and almost 9 inches. From the Peanut Gallery over here, we go, "Oh, Angelo, what's up, brother? How are you?" He says, "Hey, brother," gave me the peace sign. I give it right back to you, my man. I give it right back to you. Hope you're doing well out there today. Nice little foggy morning. It's a good day for a good day, ain't that right? That's what they say. It's a good day for a good day. Saw this come across yesterday, right as we were getting off. It was from Elon Musk. We all know how I feel about old Elon. He says, "Those who break the law will be arrested, and that includes mayors." That's what Elon said yesterday. Those who break the law will be arrested, and that includes mayors. First comment, nothing to see here, just the world's richest man. Technically still just a private citizen. Threatening to arrest democratically elected officials. This is what oligarchy looks like. It's exactly what that is. That's what oligarchy looks like. From the Peanut Gallery. "Oh, what's up, Brother Bain?" He says he'd be a monster at some disc golf. You know what? I bet he would. I bet he'd throw a disc golf a country mile. Or a Turkish mile. Or West Virginia quarter mile. There we go. There we go. Also had this sent to me from a texter after I'd got off. Just right as I got off yesterday. Where is this? Let me get it pulled up. It says, "Medicare for all, no thanks. I don't want to pay for other people's health care. I like private insurance, where I pay for other people's health care and for the salaries of blood-sucking middlemen whose entire purpose is telling me no when I need medicine." Nailhead meat hammer. I'm telling you. Hey, don't worry. They're going to get rid of all that anyways. There'll be no need for that. If you've not seen the breaking news going on right now in these United States, It's getting a little bit hairy. We'll get to all that in a second. It looks like Senate, the committee is advancing RFK Jr.'s nomination for the HHS secretary. It was basically a party line vote. I don't think anybody's, shocked and or surprised about that. China hits back as Trump's tariffs go into effect. I don't think anybody should be surprised. This is my surprise face. Eddie, calm down over there in the comment section. I love it. We're all such adults. Former GOP advisor predicts who will get Trump's henchman Elon Musk's scalp when this all goes belly up. If it does, I don't know. There was a shooting in Sweden. 5 people shot at an education center in Örebro. Looks like the Trump administration is adding some fine print to the fork resignation offer, deepening confusion as to what in the hell's going on over there. This is some dictator stuff. I'm telling you, I've been saying it from the get. This is some dictator stuff. The man said, when asked in an interview, they said, "Do you want to be a dictator?" And what did he say? What did he say? He said, "No, I don't want to be a dictator. Well, just maybe on day one. Maybe day one, I'll be a dictator on day one." Because that's how that works, right? How many people do you know that were a dictator for just one day? He's gutting these departments. This is exactly Project 2025. This is verbatim Project 2025. The authors and the signers and the creators of 2025, he is putting in power. One of them is his press secretary. He's got Stephen Miller in there. Stephen Miller looks like something from you know what? It ain't about cutting down people for what they look like. He can't help what he looks like. Which, though it is terrifying. But we don't body shame around here. We don't do that, and I apologize. But these people are straight up. Well, unless it's some people. We'll body shame some people if you deserve it. One of the things that said in Project 2025 that they want to do is remove all the people who are federal employees who are not in elected seats. They want to replace the elected officials. But if you're not an elected official, first thing, day one, I guess week 1, week 2, get rid of everybody. Replace them with your own folks. That's what they're doing. Look at it. And just offering resignations. Can you imagine what would happen? Just seriously, can you imagine what would happen if millions of government employees just said, "Yeah, I'll resign. I'll take that resignation. I'll take the buyout." Who's going to fill the jobs? Trust me, he'll find somebody. He will absolutely find somebody to fill the jobs. And if you're curious about how they feel about this, how the people up there feel about this, Republican Louisiana Senator John Kennedy. We know who John Kennedy is, right? Weirdo. This is what he has to say about it.
To my friends who are upset, I would say with respect, call somebody who cares. They better get used to this. It's USAID today. It's going to be Department of Education tomorrow.
Dude, my brothers and sisters, when they say the quiet part out loud, Also, his voice is just unfortunate. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. He says, what I have to say to you is call someone who cares. It's USAID today. It's the Department of Education tomorrow. He said that the day before they actually pushed through for the Department of Education. He knew. He knew that's what was next. And he just said it. Just put it out right there, out loud. Do not know how many times I have to tell you that they do not care about you. This is what actual communism, the beginnings of what could become communism, the beginnings of what a dictatorship looks like. Because now they're in charge of all the money, the purse strings. Good luck. I mean, the Sovereign Wealth Fund, we'll get into that. We'll absolutely get into the Sovereign Wealth Fund. It's bad enough that Waffle House is having to place a surcharge on every egg it sells. This is just from this morning. About 7 o'clock, this come across the wire. Soaring prices of eggs has forced Waffle House to add a temporary surcharge on customers' orders. Georgia-based chain is adding a 50-cent per egg charge because of the, quote, nationwide rise in cost of eggs. According to signs posted at its restaurants, an aggressive strain of avian flu is hurting supply and causing prices to rise. With no relief in sight, they say. The continuing egg shortage caused by the bird flu, HPAI, has caused a dramatic increase in egg prices, Waffle House said in the statement to CNN. Customers and restaurants are being forced to make some difficult decisions, they say. Right in the center of their menu, big old sticker, right there. 50 cents per egg, additional charge. Waffle House, which has about 2,100 locations, added in the statement that it's continuously monitoring egg prices and will adjust or remove the surcharge as market conditions allow. Waffle House serves 272 million eggs a year, making it the chain's most ordered item, surpassing hash browns, which they serve 153 million of a year. And even their namesake, Waffles, they only serve 124 million a year, according to its website. Unless you're my little girl, you show up, we go to the Waffle House. Penny eats waffles at the Waffle House. That's how the song goes. Who eats waffles at the Waffle House? Penny eats waffles at the Waffle House. And gets more on her than she gets in her. I wouldn't have it any other way. Avian flu has been plaguing farmers and the egg supply since January of 2022, resulting in 108 million birds since then. 75 million of those were laying eggs being slaughtered, according to the American Farm Bureau Federation. However, the outbreak has gotten worse in late 2024 because of a resurgence of the virus. Roughly 17 million egg-laying hens were killed in November and December, which is nearly half of all birds killed by the virus in 2024. That's according to the USDA. The average price of a dozen large grade A eggs, which Waffle House uses, was $4.15 in December. Now that's up from $3.65 back in November, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The cost of eggs is only going to get worse this year, with prices forecasted to increase another 20%. Another 20% hike in eggs. This is what the USDA is saying is going to happen over the next 2 months. Quote, not to be the bearer of bad news, but we're in this for a while, says Emily Metz, president and CEO of the American Egg Board. Until we have time without a detection, unfortunately, this very, very tight egg supply is going to continue. I was at the Kroger's Again, day before yesterday. Yeah, on Sunday. Not only have they moved where the eggs were at the Kroger that I go to, they've moved where the eggs are. But now, they're in a much smaller location. And I mean, there was almost none there. And you know how you can get the half dozen? You can get the 6 eggs in the small container. There were more of those in there than I've ever seen. There might be as many of those as there were the full dozen. It was a little weird to see that few eggs on the shelf, and they absolutely were $4.50 or so. It was pretty crazy. From the online comment section, it says the Chick-fil-A sandwich was originally a Waffle House item. They dropped it when it started outselling waffles. So Truett Cathy opened his first Chick-fil-A store in a Georgia mall food court. I didn't know that, Adam. That's a great piece of information, too. That's a great one. We were eating Chick-fil-A at the food court because that's where a lot of them were originally. We were eating Chick-fil-A in the food court back in Dallas, Town East Mall, when we were kids. We moved here and there was not a Chick-fil-A. My mom was very disappointed. And then, I believe it was the Turner family, Barry Turner. They opened that first one over on Van Drive here in Jackson, Tennessee. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, these egg prices are not coming down. They are saying easily, 20% increase on your eggs in the next 2 months. If not sooner, if not faster. That's USDA on their market watch, too. That's also the American Egg Board saying that. American Farm Bureau Federation is saying that. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Kind of checks out. So next time you're in a Waffle House, if that's your jam, Waffle House placing a surcharge on every egg it sells, 50 extra cents. From the online gallery right there. What's up, Rob Tucker? He said, damn egg prices. Thanks, Obama. All right. Surely they can find a way to blame Barack Obama for this one. I mean, given they have shown us that they are the Simone Biles of mental gymnastics. What's getting wild to me, honestly, is you don't even have to do mental gymnastics anymore. They're just telling you what they want the lie to be. Remember, I was talking about it just yesterday. Propaganda 101. If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. Propaganda number 2 rule. Accuse the other side of that which you are guilty. Propaganda 101. Rule number 3. Propaganda works best when those who are being manipulated are confident that they are acting on their own free will. And number 4, it is vitally important for the state to repress dissent. For the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie, and thus the greatest enemy of the state is the truth. That's Joseph Goebbels, Reich Minister for Public Enlightenment and Propaganda, Nazi Germany. Bothers me that we're seeing it right now. Seeing it right now. Government gaslighting. Absolutely right. That's exactly what this is. You didn't see that. That's not what you saw. You sound panicked. You sound crazy. That's not what happened. Rob Tucker says, fully blown mask off. Just tell them what they think. Yeah, just tell them what to think. There is no reason whatsoever, none, for you to think for yourself. Just trust me. Believe me. I'll tell you what to believe. I'll tell you what to think. I had a friend on the phone last night ask me, do you get tired of talking about this? And I said in response, I get tired of having to. That's the problem. I get tired of having to talk about this. But I'm going to continue to talk about it until I see something change or until they round us all up. That's why I call this Radio for the Rest of Us. You can tune into these other stations. You can get your news wherever you want to. That is one of the great things about our country. You are free to do that. But around these parts, we do not tolerate misinformation. We do not tolerate disinformation. If I say it on here, it's because I genuinely believe it is true. I have checked it. I have got as many facts as I possibly can about it before I say it. That's the long and the short of it. Rob Tugger says, thanks, Emperor Elon. It's about right. He's a non-elected official. Remember that. Non-elected. I mean, it's wild to me some of the lies being perpetrated by the far right. And you can tell that it's all some people actually listen to. It's all they read. The only place they get their news is from Fox, OAN, Newsmax, places like that, you know. Ugh. Bill O'Neill says, can't round me up. I'm already cornered. Yeah. If they want to come get me, they're going to have to. I'll say this. We'll make it fun. Like I said the other day, people said, okay, well, if, civil war breaks out or whatever, the lefties, all these lefties, they're going to have a hard time because they don't have guns. And I made the comment, if you go far left enough, the guns come back, plus some other things. But here's some of the other lies being perpetrated by the far right media right now. Trump has defeated human trafficking by taking control of the Panama Canal. You heard that right. Trump has defeated human trafficking by taking control of the Panama Canal. First, he did not take control of the Panama Canal. Marco Rubio was down there talking to Raul Molino, the President Molino. That's not at all what the outcome of that was. White House donates all of the Pride budget to homeless veterans. Have you seen that? Just propaganda. Adam Bain says, I didn't elect you my king. I love it. Another piece of propaganda they're pushing right now. Trump stops Canada from trafficking U.S. children across the border. That's what's being said. How do you figure? I can't with these people. There's a lot more than these, but that's the three highlighted that I've seen that jumped out. And the kicker is they believe this BS. They truly, truly believe it. And then one of the comments I saw on this said, I do not know how to combat ignorance on this level. And I don't either. Yeah, Rob. He said he hadn't heard any of those things. Yeah. This is the circles that I have to run in. The stuff that I have to watch and read so I can report it to you guys is terrifying. Absolute buffoonery. It would be funny if it wasn't so scary. I stopped human trafficking. They're not taking our children anymore. Put tariffs on Canada. We stopped it. It's over. Human trafficking. I got the Panama Canal under wraps. No more trafficking. It's absurd. But like I said, even on the what's happening in Jackson BS, that lady, Jonice Jackson, saying Mexico and Canada dropped to their knees faster than Kamala at a fundraiser. First off, you sound like. Second off, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. We'll get into it more. He asked Mexico to put 10,000 troops at the border. And their president, Sheinbaum, says, okay, I'll do that. That's not them bowing down, bending the knee to Donald Trump. He's too stupid to know that that was already a thing. Back in 2021, we already deployed 15,000. Well, they did. They were told to deploy 15,000 troops, Mexican troops, to the border to curtail border crossings, illegal border crossings. And Trump comes back, and his counter, mind you, to we need, we're going to put 15,000 there. And he's like, I don't know if you could do it for me, but is there any way you could do 10,000? It's like Dr. Evil, be like, $1 million. Okay, 10,000 troops. She's like, you got it, bud. Deal. So nothing changed. She doesn't have to do anything. Nothing changed. She actually has less responsibility than she did before and under the Biden administration. But yeah, Mexico really bent over, right? No, that's not what happened. And with Canada, it was, I don't want to say the facts wrong. It was something about how much tax they're going to pay on up to $130 million of exports. And Justin Trudeau said, you got it, bud. Solely because he's asking for certain taxes, exemption, things like that on $130 million worth of products. Biden had already worked it up for 180-something million. So again, it was less than the original deal. The art of the deal, my ass. Greatest negotiator, right? This guy? No, not at all. So to say, oh, they really bent the knee. No, they did not. Trump's too stupid to realize that these were already plans in place. It doesn't matter. It's still scary. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I got some Texas stuff to get to here. Let's see. The children were coming in U.S. and Canadian coal. They were minors. It's not a bad joke, Bill. Let's see from the text line. By the way, I hadn't said it yet. 388-9080. It's at the bottom of the screen over here. If you want to be part of the conversation, right there it is, baby. 731-388-9080. You can text in, you can call in, be a part of the conversation. From that text line, it says, man, the MAGA clan has opened a can of poop emoji. I sure hope they're hungry, because I've had my boots and umbrella ready. Dude, the storm is coming. It's not going to be good. And the problem with it is it's going to hurt them the same as it's going to hurt everybody else. That's what they don't understand. It's what they can't understand, I guess. I don't know. But it's going to hurt you the same as it's going to hurt everybody who didn't vote for him. It just is. Watching these people get so upset. I can't believe that some of my SNAP benefits, WIC, things like that, are being postponed. I'm not going to have access to some of this stuff. I voted for him. How could he do this to me? I voted for him. Because he doesn't care about you. When he's done with Elon, he'll get rid of him if he can. If he can. That gentleman is not elected even. From the text line, good morning, Jay White. Good morning to you as well, my brother or sister. And welcome into the show. I hope you are well and enjoying your Tuesday. We're coming up on 11:57 on your Tuesday, February the 4th. 47.5 degrees where I'm sitting at World Headquarters out at Jackson Regional Airport, formerly McKellar-Sipes, the airport formerly known as McKellar-Sipes. 51 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 11 degrees Celsius for you playing along at home. Take a quick break. I'll be right back after this.
麦生米生卵なんもないからお店に買いに行こう赤パジャマ黄パジャマ茶パジャマぐちゃぐちゃのまま置かれててめっちゃ邪魔カエルぴょこぴょこみぴょこぴょこ買えば増えて今や15ぴょこぴょこ祝新春ジャズシャンソンショーまず3周回って優秀賞生麦生米生卵なんもないからお店に買いに行こう赤パジャマ黄パジャマ茶パジャマぐちゃぐちゃなまま置かれててめっちゃ邪魔カエルぴょこぴょこみぴょこぴょこぴょこ祝新春ジャズシャンソンショーまず3周回って優秀賞隣の客はよくかき食う客だよく食う時に聞き耳立てたらば竹やぶ焼けかけた庭庭庭庭鳥がいるが庭庭庭がにわかに広すぎるな日々蛇の方の日々の幅やハブの方の日々の幅にビビっての上手な坊主が上手に遠くに坊主と上手の絵を描いただばからばからばからばかわからないのでラバからば比べたらラバからばかわからなかった庭庭庭庭鳥がいるが庭庭庭がにわかに広すぎるな日々蛇の方の日々の幅やハブの方の日々の幅にビビっての上手な坊主が上手に道具に坊主と上手の絵を描いただばからばからばからばかわからないのでラバからば比べたらラバからばかわからなかったこの釘は引き抜きにくい釘だ引き抜きにくいが引き抜けば引き抜けるだけまだましだこれは噛むかもしかも二度もかも二度もかも噛むに噛むの手迷い困り構えてるかのかもこれは噛むかもしかも君もかも君もかも噛む気もするけどいつでもかも仲間へでいいよおやおややおやにお謝りもしや親は今やに謝り済みレモンもメロンもペロンと食べたがバナナの謎は未だ謎なのだぞおろしざししださそりざさまざまあれあれはアンドロメザザタソ豚が豚をぶすと豚り豚が豚豚をぶったので豚豚と豚れた豚が豚折れた早口言葉お口々に口にしなコツコツやり続ければカチコチの口も動き出すはずさ
Welcome back in, guys. A little mono no aware to bring us back in. Bet you didn't expect to hear Japanese tongue twisters bringing us back in the show today. But that's what that is. It's 4 Japanese women. And all the things they were saying were just Japanese tongue twisters. It'd be like if you had a whole song of Rubber Bippy Buggy Bumper. Mama made me mash my M&Ms over and over. See from the text line right there. Rob Tucker, can't find the link to the YouTube. Hey, Bill, I see that you're actually on the YouTube link right now. Do you mind throwing that link into the comments so Rob can see it? Oh, wait, you're on YouTube. You'd have to. Do you mind throwing the link into the Facebook comments? If you look for Factor Round and Find Out, Rob, that'd be the easiest way to find it. Mine's the one with it's red cursive script. Factor Round and Find Out. It'll be red cursive script. And then just click on live or on the logo. It'll have go live. It might have the live around it already right now. I'm pulling it up on my end as well. Yeah, it is. Rob, actually, I'm going to type it in here real quick. You guys bear with me. Hey, there it is. All right, good deal. Good deal. Yeah, I like watching it on there a little bit easier myself. I think it's a little bit easier because then you can just put your phone down. Though I don't know which where I shared that to. I don't know if it goes to the Facebook or if it goes to the other one. Either way, welcome back in. Yeah, I told you that was Bill. A lot of crazy stuff going on around the news right now. Let me see which one of these stories I want to get to first. So Japan, I knew there was a reason I was playing that. Japanese music coming back in. Japan is considering supporting Alaska gas pipeline to strengthen ties with the Trump administration. Japan's weighing the possibility of backing a $44 billion gas pipeline project in Alaska, which aims to bolster U.S.-Japan relations. In addition, it will address potential trade tensions, according to 3 government officials familiar with the matter. The proposed pipeline, which would transport liquefied natural gas, or LNG, from Alaska to Asia, is seen as a strategic move to curry favor with U.S. President Donald Trump and prevent any escalation of trade disputes. Do you think it'll work? Or is them just, I don't know. Maybe they're looking at what else is going on and they're saying, well, we don't want a part of that. We want to continue to be at least in the good graces here a little bit. We see what you're doing to everybody else. The 800-mile pipeline designed to connect Alaska's northern gas fields to a southern port where the gas would be liquefied and shipped to Asia customers. It's faced skepticism in Japan due to the high cost compared to other liquid natural gas sources. Again, that's LNG. Japanese officials have indicated they're open to exploring the deal if President Trump raises the matter during an anticipated meeting with Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba in Washington next week. Officials in Tokyo expect Trump to highlight the project as essential for U.S. economic prosperity and security, as he has previously emphasized. The project is key to ensuring that U.S. allies in Asia, including Japan, have access to a stable energy supply, Trump said in an earlier statement. Despite the potential geopolitical benefits, Japan remains cautious about the financial viability of this pipeline. They said, quote, while we understand the strategic importance of diversifying energy sources, we need to ensure that any deal is commercially viable. Japan already imports substantial amounts of liquid natural gas, trading approximately 38 million tons in 2023, over half of its domestic consumption. Prime Minister Ishiba, who is expected to meet Trump next week, acknowledged Japan's energy needs in a parliamentary statement, saying while Japan needs to reduce reliance on fossil fuels, there are things that we should request from the U.S. in terms of stable energy supply. However, he did not specify or specifically mention the Alaska pipeline. I don't want to hear any jokes from you guys about Alaska pipeline. Yes, I get the joke. Also, I think it's kind of ballsy for Prime Minister Ishiba to even make that statement while Donald Trump is in the room or potentially listening. To actually say, quote, while Japan needs to reduce reliance on fossil fuels. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Reduce reliance on fossil fuels. You're talking to the drill baby drill fella. I don't know, man. Exnay on the Ossel Fay Ools Fay talk. Because that's what this man wants. He wants it. But it could include increasing purchase of U.S. gas, ramping up defense spending, and boosting investment in U.S. manufacturing. This approach aims to reduce Japan's $56 billion bilateral trade deficit and stave off potential tariffs that President Trump has threatened on foreign goods. Any deal on liquid natural gas would need to offer reasonable pricing and flexibility, such as allowing Japanese companies to resell the gas. A fourth official explained while Japan is prepared to discuss these terms, no firm commitments are expected during the upcoming summit. The Alaska gas project was a central part of President Trump's energy agenda during his first term, with an executive order promising to unlock the state's resource potential. Rob says, in our America planet, how dare he? Right? The pipeline is framed as a critical step towards ensuring energy security for both U.S. and its Pacific allies, including Japan. This is from Arise News, by the way. I'm pulling some of this information from arisenews.tv. However, Japan's energy needs are already well served by existing sources. That's kind of the part. That's the part right there. That part. The country imports liquid natural gas from diverse regions, including Russia, which accounts for approximately 10% of its gas supply in the Middle East. Japan does not have to do this with us. This is strategic. This is somebody sort of bending the knee, but in a way, I get why they would do it. Just going up to him and saying, hey, Trump, before you get any wild ideas about us over here in Japan, we would certainly not mind getting a little bit of liquid natural gas from you. And we'll go, I don't know, let's say to the tune of, what's a good round number? 44 billion with a B? Does that sound okay with you? And it looks like what they're doing. Their energy needs, like I said, they're well served already. They don't need it. Excuse me, sorry about that. Still diversifying sources, particularly to reduce reliance on unstable regions like Russian, remains a priority. But they don't get a ton from Russia, but I understand diversifying. Japan's involvement in the Alaska pipeline could also involve financing support on their behalf. The Japan Bank for International Cooperation, the JBIC, is one potential source of funding, offering loans for projects that benefit Japanese companies abroad. Trading firms like Mitsubishi Corp and Mitsubishi Mitsui and Company, which manage Japan's overseas energy reserves, could also play a role, though neither company is committed to the project thus far. It kind of makes me feel like what Japan's doing is they're making it seem like they're floating the idea. Just so as not to draw attention. They don't want to be quiet and run the risk of him coming after them. What they would rather do is say, hey, remember that pipeline? Let's talk about that a little bit when you get some time. Actually, we're going to be there next week, so we'll swing by. We'll see what's going on. We'll talk about it. Mitsubishi has previously entered into an agreement with Alaska Gas Line Development Corporations to assess the feasibility of producing ammonia at the project site, but has not yet made a commitment to invest in the pipeline either. Basically, there's not been anything disclosed about this pipeline on Japan's side of saying, yes, we're 100% in. They're doing a lot of saying, we'll talk about it. Let's have some open conversation about it. Which, like I said, I don't think that's a bad idea or a bad look for Japan, personally. The pipeline project, first approved during Trump's earlier administration, the first time around, has faced opposition from environmental groups and regulatory hurdles. See, here's the thing. A lot of this stuff is not, that's why I'm having to pull it from arise.tv. There is not a lot of good information about this. People are not reporting on it. Trump's doing a really good job of creating chaos. Have enough things going at one time. Enough things just boom, 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 boom going at one time. That certain things like that just slide right on in. You don't even notice that it happened. From the text line, oh, it's John Loveless. He was on Friday. He says, what was the Dunkin' breakfast, Sammy? You were telling about on Friday, last Friday. That would be the bacon, egg, and cheese on a croissant. The bacon, egg, and cheese on a croissant. And I get the little hash browns, round hash browns to go with it. And it is delicious for a fast food breakfast. Whatever you do, though, don't order any donuts. Nah, I believe that article said that it wasn't affecting us over here, John. So you should be fine to get your donuts, too. Not cake donuts, though. Just regular old donuts. I remember what you said. I listen when you talk. But yes, it was a bacon, egg, and cheese on a croissant with them darn little hash browns. They are delicious. Back to that pipeline. Despite this, the project receives key approvals, including from the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission in 2020, and is now advancing under the leadership of developer Glenn Farn. Never heard of that company. Never heard of that developer. I'm sure there's a reason why none of us have ever heard of that company or developer. Probably a good one. The upcoming meeting next week between Prime Minister Ishiba from Japan and Trump will closely be watched in Japan, where political observers are focused on whether the new prime minister can establish the same rapport with Trump that former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe enjoyed during his tenure. We'll see. I think it's pretty easy. I mean, we all know what it takes to be on Trump's good side, right? It's very easy. You just tell him he's right. And then you go do whatever you want, but to his face. You just tell him he's right. Abe, who was assassinated back in 2022, formed a close personal and diplomatic relationship with Trump, but Ishiba's government lacks such established ties. That's from Arise.tv. The writer of that is Buluwatife Inomi. Look at me. I'm doing great with the names today, ladies and gentlemen. Some would say killing it. A lot more to get to in the show today. That Senate panel advances RFK Jr.'s nominations to be the health secretary. Being in charge of HHS. Nothing scary about that. China counters with tariffs on U.S. products. Says it will also investigate Google. I think I'm going to pull both of these stories up right here. This is something that I was wanting to get into. We were talking about it a bit earlier. So the Trump administration is trying to draft an executive order to do away with the Department of Education, to initiate the Department of Education's elimination. So cabinet offices like that, from what I understand, and I might be mistaken, from what I understand, cannot be done away with by executive order. It has to be a congressional vote. I don't think it's a majority vote either. I believe it's a 2/3 vote. But somehow, Trump thinks he's going to come in here and just executive order his way through it. He's already signed, 70 plus executive orders right off the bat. Talk about being an agent of chaos. The Trump administration has begun drafting an executive order that would kick off the process of eliminating the DOE. The latest move by President Trump to swiftly carry out his campaign promises to sources familiar with the plans told reporters this morning. The move would come in two parts, the sources say. The order would direct the Secretary of Education to create a plan to diminish the department through executive action. Which, again, that was one of the ones I was saying, I don't think you can do that. I don't, but maybe it'll clarify. Trump would also push for Congress to pass legislation to end the department, because that's the thing you have to do. You have to have Congress. But pushing Congress to pass legislation to end that department, and those working on the order to acknowledge the shuttering of the department, not only would it require Congress's involvement, I don't think that he has the people. I just don't think that they're going to do that. But then again, I've seen who he's put in power in other places. So, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities. It is certainly not out of the realm of possibilities. It just seems so far-fetched, but doesn't everything almost nothing is surprising at this point. From the comment section over here, Rob saying, fortunately, Congress isn't real anymore. Starting to feel like that, ain't it, brother? Really is starting to feel like it's just not all that real or legitimate anymore. And the Democratic Party's not doing a damn thing. They're useless, and they're not doing anything. While calls to abolish the department or merge it with another federal agency are not new, the move has historically failed to get any support in Congress, really, to speak of. During Trump's first term as president, his administration proposed merging the education and labor departments into one federal agency. Even though Republicans controlled both the Senate and the House of Representatives at that time, the proposal did not go anywhere. That's what's giving me hope right now. Because last time they had both. And it didn't hit. Fingers crossed, that's what we're working with now. This year, the Education Department is simultaneously being targeted by the Department of Government Efficiency, led by the schwastistic Elon Musk. Dozens of employees at the Education Department were placed on paid administrative leave on Friday as part of the Trump administration's larger effort to rid the federal workforce of employees associated with diversity, equity, and you guessed it, inclusion. Oh, and accessibility efforts, lest we forget. On the campaign trail, Trump repeatedly pointed to the department as a sign of federal overreach, tied it to culture war issues. He said, quote, "We will drain the government education swamp and stop the abuse of your taxpayer dollars to indoctrinating America's youth with all sorts of things that you don't want to have your youth hearing. Like CRT. I don't know if anybody's told him lately, because happy Black History Month, by the way. Although Black History is not so happy in lots of respects. But I don't know if anybody's told him lately, but Black history is American history. That's just part of it. That's just part of our history, is Black history. Why should that be controversial? It shouldn't. On the campaign trail, like I said, he said a lot of crazy stuff about the DOE. And then he puts Vince McMahon's wife in charge of it. Again, how badly do you need to suckle up at the teat of the orange oligarch here in order to say, this guy the whole time is going, we're going to get rid of this department. This is not a department that we're keeping. We don't want it. It's going away. By the way, would you like to be in charge of that department? Wait, what? The one you're getting rid of? That'd be the one. But I thought you're getting rid of it. Look, it's a yes or no question, Miss McMahon. Even if he succeeds in ending the department, it's possible that some programs and funding could be retained. Some could be shifted to other agencies, which is where they were housed before the department was created back in 1979. It's not a brand new department. It's not a super old department. It's a roughly my aged department. The federal funding programs for K-12 schools that help support the education of students from low-income families and children with disabilities, for example, predated the creation, obviously, of the Department of Education. When presidents have proposed to cut the department's budget in the past, Congress has resisted and appropriated more funding than what the president asked for, about 70% of the time. I thought that we were in it for the kids. Like, seriously. The kids. Unless they're hungry. Right? Unless they need school lunches. Right? Unless we teach them about actual history. Right? You're trying to make white kids feel bad about being white. No, we're not. They deserve to know about Ruby Bridges. They deserve to know about the Trail of Tears. They deserve to know about... It blows my mind. Blows my mind. From the comment section over here, it says, we are such an unserious country, brother. Yeah. It's starting to feel like that, isn't it? Starting to feel very unserious. Those stats are coming from the Brookings Institute, by the way. Even when the first Trump administration proposed cutting the department's budget, the Republican-controlled Congress ultimately increased its funding. There you go. Look at that, Republicans. But now he's giving it a second shot. We're getting rid of it. Second time, third time, eighth time's a charm. We're going to get rid of the Department of Education. Again, he's drafting the executive order. I heard a very fascinating theory. I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory. It's just a theory that I heard put out there. That Donald Trump is borderline illiterate. He can read, but I mean he can't read. He doesn't read well. If he ever gets off a script, it's hard for him to get back on. It would make sense. I mean, that first day, they're just handing him executive order after executive order. They're telling him what it is and what's in it. Mr. Trump, President Trump, this is the executive order saying that kids are not allowed to wear open-toed shoes in mixed company. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Every one that he got handed, he goes, "Oh, that's a big one. Oh, this is a big one. Look at this right here. That's a big one. That's a big one." Sir, this is an executive order saying that if you have a Jeep and you decide to take the top off the Jeep as a woman, you are required to take your top off as well. You have to be topless in your topless Jeep. Oh, that's a big one. All right, that's a good one. That's a good. I wrote that one personally. That's a big one. But I mean, it would stand to reason that he's not the most literary. He's not that proficient with words. Sorry to Elmer Fudge you there, guys, but it would make sense. Literarily proficient. I don't even know if that's what I was trying to get at, but it's close. It gets the point across. It's the Derek for kids who can't read or write good. We got RFK Jr. to look forward to. Dude who I love and I mean I hate. But it should not be, the irony should not be lost on anybody. That Donald Trump says DEI hires are bad. It should be merit-based hiring. And then he puts the guy from Road Rules on MTV in charge. He puts of the Department of Transportation. He puts a Fox News host as SecDef. I mean, he's got a 27-year-old, and it's not ageism, but he put a 27-year-old nobody, Levitt, as press secretary. Tell me more about merit. And who is the leader of the RNC? What's her name? It's Laura checks notes. Laura checks notes here. Oh, Trump. Laura Trump. I am sure that was a coincidence. Merit-based. A merit-based coincidence. You can't make it make sense. You just can't. Also, RFK Jr. has absolutely no place being anywhere close to medicine. Just at all. It's coming up on 12:37 on Tuesday, the 4th of February. That call-in line number and text line number, again, 731-388-9080, if you'd like to be a part of the conversation, or you can comment on whichever the platforms you're watching live on. I've got a scroll pulled up right here. I can see them all live from all of them, all in the same place. So on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, working on getting that TuneIn app up and going. Again, had a good meeting yesterday with my cohort Mirza, discussing some good sponsorship ideas, some things we're going to do coming up that I think you'll be very excited about as we continue to grow the show. Factor on to find out the stream. A little bit of radio for the rest of us. Sit tight. Be right back right after this.
Concrete, shutting everywhere. Moonlight's bright in the Keystone Gate. Meet me at the street light, gonna take you there. Take you rooftop dancing. Summer, throwing my body in the air, making the jump from ledge to ledge. Long hair flying, we're out of breath, we're rooftop dancing. Look at, I can see everything. Babies double dutching, singing their names, counting off time, doing their thing. Look at, I can see everything. Babies double dutching, singing their names, counting off time, doing their thing.
Welcome back in on a little overcast, but not bad. Tuesday, February the 4th. It ain't bad. A little Sylvanesso to bring us back in together. Rooftop dancing. Playing this one for a special friend. You're welcome.
Concrete, shutting everywhere. Moonlight's bright in the Keystone Gate. Meet me at the street light, gonna take you there. Take you rooftop dancing.
So let's go on this journey together a little bit. It looks like we pushed the tariffs off for what's looking like about a month. Apparently, we got 30 days of respite on these tariffs. But just go on this journey with me, if you will. If some of these steep tariffs on some of our three largest trading partners, that is Canada, China, and Mexico, were to go into effect. Now, given the reason we're doing it is to stop what is being called a national emergency on the flow of fentanyl and undocumented immigrants into the United States. You know that 1%, singular percent of the fentanyl coming into these United States comes through Canada. Best we can tell. Single percent. Gotta watch out. Gotta watch out. So we've pushed it on down, kicked it down the road a month. But they were talking about if they don't do what they say they're going to do, Trump says this is what's going to happen. 25% duty on all imports from Mexico and most Canadian goods. There's a 10% carve out for energy related items like oil, crude, things like that. And then a 10% tariff on Chinese goods imported to the United States. Well, the one with China looks like that's still going to be in place. Mexico, Canada, we put off for 30 days as a good faith thing on their end. You know, Trump always promises to employ tariffs for three primary purposes: to raise revenue. You heard that right. We're going to put tariffs on our main trading partners to raise revenue. How you figure, bud? Honestly, how you figure? Because that's not how that works at all. If I have to talk to another person who loudly doesn't understand how tariffs work, or furthermore, who pays the tariff? The importer pays the tariff. I feel like I need to just write it on something and just have it constantly held up, like right beside my face. That way when someone says something stupid, I can just point at it. The importer pays the tariff. That's all it is. I mean, it's that easy. That's one of his three main reasons, he says, for doing this. To raise revenue. Not how that works, bud. To bring trade balance and to bring rival countries to the negotiating table. Your negotiating really sucked the other day, by the way, Trump. Congratulations. You were able to negotiate for less than we already had coming from these nations. Congratulations. You did. Somehow you did less than nothing. Somehow you did less than nothing. I don't know how that is possible, but you did. You did less than nothing. Economists warned that these moves negatively impact American businesses and consumers. Duh. Many of whom are still reeling from the sharp rise in inflation in recent years. Well, yeah, of course. That's just how it is. As the kids say, sometimes it be like that. The United States Chamber of Commerce warned Saturday that tariffs will not involve the years-long issues at the borders and instead threaten to upend supply chains and raise prices for American families. Okay. Quote, consumers are going to be clearly worse off. Sung-Won Son, professor of finance and economics at Loyola Marymount University and chief economist at SS Economics, reported on Saturday. When you talk about a tariff, it's an economic war. And in war, everybody loses. But hopefully, we will come to some better results and conclusions as a result of the pain and the suffering that we will go through. That is from Sung-Won Son, professor of finance and economics at Loyola Marymount University and the chief economist at SS Economics. We'll see how that goes. From the comment line over here, it bees like that sometimes. Don't it though, Mirza? Don't it though? Good talking with you yesterday, by the way, brother. About 1/3 of the United States imports come from 3 countries. And those countries just so happen to be, you guessed it, the ones that we just targeted. The ones that we just targeted. So what's it going to affect? Let's just let's talk about that for a second. If these were to go into effect, what are we affecting here? Mexico and Canada supply a significant share of several key food categories. For example, Mexico is the largest supplier of fruit and vegetables to the United States. I'll say it again. Mexico is the largest supplier of fruit and vegetables to these United States, while Canada leads in exports of grain, livestock, meats, like poultry, and just so much more. Agricultural products from Mexico and Canada in particular could become more expensive for consumers as grocery retailers operate on thinner profit margins than most industries. With little room to absorb higher tariff costs, the grocers may have to pass them on to shoppers. I like how they say may. Isn't that cute? They may have to pass them on to shoppers. Last year, the United States imported $46 billion worth of agricultural products from Mexico, according to the USDA's data. This included $8.3 billion worth of fresh veggies, $5.9 billion worth of beer, and $5 billion of distilled spirits. Speaking of, did you see that Canada was, just about to pull bourbon, American bourbon, namely Kentucky bourbon and Tennessee whiskey, off their shelves. And then it didn't go through, and they said, we'll wait about 30 days. We're going to kick it on down the road. We'll see what happens. They were about to do that. They almost specifically designed some of the things that they want to do, Canada that is, to hurt red states. States that voted for the Tangerine Tyrant. That's what they're trying to do. I live in a red state. I think a lot of you guys listening live in red states, probably the same red state that I'm in. I know Rob, I know you don't. I know that, well, you're in a red state, but not the same one as us. I can't blame these people. I can't be mad at these people. I really can't. As far as fuel and energy is concerned, the United States imported $97 billion with the B dollars worth of oil and gas from Canada just last year. That country's top export to the United States is exactly that, oil and gas. The U.S. has become more reliant on Canadian oil since the expansion of Canada's Trans Mountain Pipeline, according to data from the U.S. Energy Information Administration. The tariff on Canadian energy products is only 10%, not the 25% tariff announced on the Canadian exports. So giving them a break. We're going to cut them a little slack there. That'll limit the impact on gasoline prices. Global head of energy analysis for OPS. So when we talk about how the president doesn't control gas prices, on the whole, no. No. However, you do goofy stuff like this, yes, that does affect gas prices. It can. Oh, Rob's saying that he moved to Baltimore, Maryland, like 6 months ago. Finally not in a red state. I thought you were in Florida there for a while, bud. I know you were here, I thought you went to Florida. And then, you're up in Baltimore, Maryland. Finally not in a red state. Look at you. I have only lived in red states my entire life. I've lived in 2 states. Three cities, if you don't count my entire life. Texas, Tennessee, Dallas, Mesquite area, and then Jackson and Memphis. And those are the only places I've lived. Memphis, Jackson, Dallas, Mesquite. All red, except for Memphis. Memphis is not red at all. Memphis is blue as hell, man. I love it. Yeah, Rob saying I was in Florida for too long. Too damn long. Yeah, I understand, man. I understand. That's a different kind of redneck, too. That's a different kind of redneck. A Florida redneck? Those folks are different. Avocados from Mexico, says Adam Bain on the text line right there. I was talking with Bill just last night about this. The tariffs on Mexico, as somebody who was formerly in the beer business, I worked in the beer beverage industry. If you are an importer or distributor and you move Sol, Tecate, Modelo, any kind of Mexican beer, or you got anything going on with tequila, mezcal, blue agave, don't be surprised, because they're going to pass. That is a very thin margin. It's like a 2%, 2.5% margin. And if you're selling a 6-pack at the gas station, the package store, liquor store, the stow, as it were, and you sell it for $9.99. You got a 6-pack of Modelo for $9.99. Well, you got to sell it for $12.99 now, $13.99, just to not lose your butt. You have to. And you cannot blame the importer. You cannot blame the distributors. You cannot blame the stores. Not how that works. From the text line 388-9080, it says, Justin, my brother, as you would say, quote, in Christ. I like it. I see you right there. As you would say, my brother in Christ. Louder for the people in the back. It seems pretty straightforward to me. From the text line, Mirza says, or from the comment section, Mirza says, we should put major tariffs on Canadian actors. That's funny. Jim Carrey, I'm coming for you. Canada throws out some good actors, Mirza. Some really good actors. Really does. We're coming up on the top of the hour here, 12:58 going into 12:59 on Tuesday, February the 4th. You guys stick around, stay tuned. I got a couple more stories I'd like to get to before we wrap up. The 3 hours of radio excellence today. We're going to end up hour number 2 right now, though. It is 48.7 degrees where I'm sitting right now, world headquarters in North Jackson. Out at the airport. I got it right here. Hold on. 51 degrees Fahrenheit, 11 degrees Celsius. That'd be 283.15 Kelvin for everyone playing along at home or in the vast reaches of outer space. Sit tight. We'll be right back right after this.
not a man. I only end up giving bad directions that never lead them there at all. It's something written in the headlights. It's something swimming in my drink. And if I were the moon, it'd be exactly where I'd fall. 'Cause you got that special kind of sadness. You got that tragic set of charms that only comes from time spent in Los Angeles. Makes me wanna wrap you in my arms. I used to think someone would love me for the places I have been and the dirt that I've been gathering deep beneath my nails. But now I know what I've been missing, and I'm going home to make it mine. And I'll be battening the hatches and pulling in the sails. 'Cause you got that special kind of sadness. You got that tragic set of charms that only comes from time spent in Los Angeles. Makes me wanna wrap you in my arms. You got that special kind of sadness. You got that tragic set of charms that only comes from time spent in Los Angeles. Makes me wanna wrap you in my arms.
Welcome back in. Getting some good responses on that song. Mears is saying, love the song. It's Dawes, Time Spent in Los Angeles. They played the Grammys. They opened the Grammys the other night. It was them and Brittany Howard. Sheryl Crow was on bass. Brad Paisley on guitar. Yeah, Griffin Goldsmith back on the drums, and Taylor Goldsmith fronting the band, and it was so nice to see them out there doing their thing. Griffin lost his house in those fires. Their childhood home lost their recording studio. It's a really sad thing, really devastating. It's nice to see them. And I've seen so many people coming out saying, never heard of this Dawes band. Who is this? And I'm seeing them all over the place now. Just they keep popping up. I've seen them 3 times this week. They were on Jimmy Kimmel. They were on so many different shows, and now they're on the Grammys and all this. Yeah, bud. Welcome to it. Dawes is what's up. Dawes is what's up. From my own personal text line, I was sent this. It says, y'all are worried, is a Facebook post that a friend of a friend posted. It says, all y'all worried about erasing history, here you go. The government site for the Army Women's History Museum is now forbidden. Yeah. awm.army.mil. The military site for that is now officially hidden. When they came for the nothing, because I was not in a union. When they came for the socialists, I said nothing because I was not a socialist. When they came for the Jews, I said nothing because I was not Jewish. And when they came for me, there was no one to speak for me. If you think that it won't happen, you think it can't happen, think again. It's a matter of time. Don't worry. Somebody you love, something you love, it'll happen. From the comment section online, My good friend, one of my best friends, Trevor Shackelford, says, saw them open for Incubus in 2007 when they were still Simon Dogs. That is incredible, Trev. Was that when North Hills, was that the record? North Hills? And Adam Bain says, can't beat Dawes. Absolutely right, my brother. Absolutely right. But all three of y'all. Absolutely right. Yeah, that would have 2007. Yeah, that would have probably been North Hills or before North Hills came out. That record, probably before actually. I think North Hills came out under the Dawes name. I wanted to play this for you here real quick. Another thing that I had found as I was perusing the internet that I thought you might find interesting. We were talking earlier about Project 2025, and he's like, I don't know anything about it. I never had anything to do with it. Then he put all those people in power and into different positions. Check this out.
Remember when Trump insisted,
I have nothing to do with Project 2025.
well, now that he's president in 2025, what he's doing sure looks a lot like
Project 2025.
a Time magazine analysis found that about 2/3 of Trump's Week 1 executive orders seem to be ripped from the pages of the Project 2025 playbook. At Courier, we've been talking about Project 2025 since 2023. What we said would happen is now happening. Here are 5 ways Trump and his billionaire backers are putting Project 2025 into action. Number 1, Trump is filling the White House with the Project 2025 team. Russell Vought has been called the chief architect of Project 2025, and Trump chose him to return as head of the crucial Office of Management and Budget. Vought argued that a president can override Congress to freeze funding of programs he doesn't like.
He's doing
even
it.
though this is explicitly against the law.
Yep.
We've already seen the new Trump White House try to do that. Trump picked Brendan Carr, who wrote the chapter on the FCC, to head the FCC. He picked Peter Navarro, an author of Project 2025's chapter on trade, to be trade counselor. He picked contributor Tom Homan to be the border czar.
Of the Heritage Foundation.
Stephen Miller and Caroline Levitt were part of Project 2025 and even starred in its recruitment video. Trump picked them respectively to be deputy chief of policy and press secretary. Number 2, a mass firing purge is at the center of Project 2025. The biggest goal of Project 2025 was to fire all the non-political government employees who were hired because of their expertise.
You mean almost like here's a way that you could just leave and get a buyout?
And replace them with MAGA henchmen. And sure enough, Trump has been on a firing frenzy. The head of the FAA resigned on Inauguration Day under pressure from unofficial co-president Elon Musk. And Trump fired the heads of the TSA and Coast Guard and scrapped the Aviation Security Advisory Committee, leaving critical air safety vacancies ahead of the tragic National Airport crash. Trump illegally fired more than a dozen inspectors general who are supposed to be the watchdogs against corruption and abuse at federal agencies. He nominated an FBI director who's called for shutting down FBI headquarters and replacing career crime fighters with MAGA cronies.
We got to put in all America patriots top to bottom.
And Trump has offered a financial incentive to all 2 million federal employees to quit immediately. Last time he was in office, it took Trump 4 years to put more than 2 million Americans out of work. And this time, he's tried to do it in his first week on the job. Can you imagine the chaos if the entire federal government took his offer and quit? If there were suddenly no one to run air traffic control, no one to cut Social Security checks, no one working at Veterans Affairs, no one doing cancer research, and no food safety inspections? And what would it do to the economy to suddenly have 2 million more unemployed Americans? It doesn't matter to Trump and the authors of Project 2025 because the pain is part of the point. Number 3. Remember when we said immigration enforcement is to be conducted like a war, with the military deployed within the U.S. and millions of immigrants rounded up and thrown into newly constructed mass holding camps? Well, Trump has indeed ordered the military to join immigration enforcement and has announced a 30,000-bed immigrant detention camp in Guantanamo Bay. Number 4. Project 2025 was obsessed with persecuting trans people. So far, the Trump administration has been as well. Page 489 called for the federal government to deny the existence of trans people, which Trump did with one of his first executive orders. Page 62 called for disbanding the Gender Policy Council, which Trump immediately did also. Page 103 called for expelling trans people from the military, which Trump has started. Many pages are focused on blocking trans kids from living openly as themselves, and Trump is following those pages like a recipe, starting with an executive order blocking Medicaid or any government program from supporting gender-affirming care for kids. Number 5, the environment. Page 709 demanded the U.S. withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement. Trump did that on his first day. Page 529 demanded opening up Alaskan wildlife to drilling. Trump did that on his first day, too. Page 520 said U.S. energy policy should prioritize fossil fuels over everything else. Sure enough, Trump's executive orders have blocked wind farms on federal lands and redefined energy as only oil, natural gas, coal, hydropower, biofuels, critical mineral, and nuclear energy resources. In other words, wind and solar are technically not even forms of energy anymore in the eyes of the federal government.
That's absurd.
And in accordance with page 431, Trump is blocking the EPA from limiting cancer-causing PFAS, or forever chemicals, from our drinking water. I am only scratching the surface of the Project 2025 policies that Trump has put in place, and he himself is only getting started. I'm Alan Piper at A Piper 13. Follow Courier Newsroom for the facts you need about this.
I really like Courier Newsroom. I like what they do. I like the way that they report. I've been a fan of theirs for quite some time. Anybody who tells you Project 2025 is not a thing, that's not what they're doing. Maybe it's just a big coincidence that we're putting this many policies for Project 2025 into place. Some of them day one. But he says he doesn't know anything about it. From the comment section, oh, Trevor, Carnivore was the album. Blake Mills on guitar. Very nice. Very nice, yes. Absolutely. That's a good one. That's a good one. A few more things I want to hit in this third and final hour. In fact, we're going to find out of the stream. Oh, from the text line. Were you talking? Have you... Let me start that whole thing over. From the text line. Did you talk about eggs? I have talked about eggs. And I actually talked about Waffle House putting a surcharge on every egg it sells. 50 cents. Every egg you buy. It's going to be a 50-cent surcharge on every egg you buy. I just bought eggs this last weekend on Sunday. They've moved the egg section at my Kroger to a smaller area. There are far fewer eggs in that area. And the six-packs of eggs, little smaller dudes, I've never seen so many of those over the dozens. There were not as many of the dozens as there were of the six-packs. And they're still $4. Still $4. I mean, it's not like Hawaii prices, but I mean, it certainly isn't that far off. But yes, I did cover the eggs. It's disheartening to say the very least. Adam Bain, the resident vegan in the house, says, I've not bought eggs in over 3 years. Adam. I wonder if the price of just eggs is going up. We talk about Donald Trump a whole lot, and we will continue to talk about Donald Trump a whole lot. Again, the Tangerine Tyrant's deciding he's going to try to make everybody's lives as miserable as he possibly can while lining him in his own cronies' pockets and making sure that he's looked after as well as everybody that he cares about, using that very loosely. Cares about. but we have to put some hate where hate is due. That would be the first buddy, Elon Musk. Elon Musk and his allies have spent the last 2 weeks barreling full speed into multiple government agencies, causing confusion and chaos and raising questions about whether an unelected businessman can wield this kind of authority, seemingly running roughshod over laws and programs set up by Congress. Is that fair? Can he do it? Well, you know what? He is. He is. Over the last several days, Musk-aligned personnel have gained full access to the Treasury's payment systems. That's threatening to shut down the U.S. Agency for International Development, offered all federal employees a sort of a buyout plan, and several agencies pushed aside career civil servants. In some cases, locking them out of their offices and their computers. I don't know if you've seen that. Talked about it some yesterday with the Treasury Department, as well as USAID. Show up at work, there's police tape out. There's armed guards. And they say, nope, not today. But my stuff's in there. You can get an escort. We'll escort you to get your stuff. Taken together, Musk's moves represent an unprecedented effort to expand the power of the executive branch, with little regard for laws or procedures, an effort Donald Trump foreshadowed during his successful 2024 campaign. Musk, the world's richest man, has tens of billions of dollars in government contracts and now access to the innermost workings of the federal government. This is the same guy who has been steady up in arms about federal subsidies for all kinds of companies. How dare companies take these types of subsidies? Meanwhile, he's got just millions and millions of dollars coming from the United States federal government. Billions, to be exact. Quote, I have a hard time thinking of anyone who has exerted the kind of power and control that he has exerted over government operations in the last week. It's Kathleen Clark, a Washington University law professor who specializes in government ethics. The question of whether Musk will comply with federal conflict of interest rules and whether the Trump administration will enforce them, that's the big part, has drawn scrutiny from Democrats and watchdog groups. Shut up, Democrats. You're useless. Just go back to bed. At this point, you're not going to do anything. Just go back to bed. Multiple lawsuits obviously are underway. More are likely to come, and they won't do anything because when all the judges are your judges, when all the people in power are your people, what does it matter? What good's it going to do? It doesn't. It doesn't matter. Critics accuse Musk and his allies of running afoul of flaws aimed at protesting the security of federal data while seeking to shrink and outright eliminate agencies in moves that would take, quote, ironically enough, a, quote, act of Congress. Yeah, an act of Congress. They're gonna bow down to this guy. I will be absolutely flabbergasted if they don't. They don't have a spine. They don't have a backbone. They're going to do this. They are going to just kowtow to his bullshit. That's what's going to happen. You know, it just is. After days of silence on the question of Musk's employment status, the White House on Monday indicated that Musk has been officially serving as a special government employee. The designation means that Trump he's not a volunteer, but he's also not a full-time employee. There's normally a timetable on this, and I believe it's 180 days. Let me see if it goes on to say it. Special government employees, or sort of like super volunteers, the more empowered but less encumbered. That says the executive director of the National Security Councils, which represents federal employees and whistleblowers, and has sued the Musk-led Department of Government Efficiency in court. At least somebody is. A special government employee is a temporary position. All right, here it is. A special government employee is a temporary position for someone who works or is expected to work for the government for 130 days or less in a 365-day period. That's plenty enough time for them to get all this stuff done, right? That's plenty of time. Musk isn't being paid. Oh, no. A person familiar with his employment told CNN he does have an office on the White House campus. Quote, Elon can't do and won't do anything without our approval, and we'll give him the approval where appropriate. Where not appropriate, we will not. That's what the president said just yesterday on Monday. As a special government employee, Musk is covered by a federal conflicts of interest statute that prohibits government employees from participating in matters that would affect their financial interests. You can't make this up. Does anybody think that's real? And he goes on to say the law can be enforced criminally or in civil context, but only by the Justice Department. In this case, that would be Trump's Justice Department. Again, if you're playing along at home. It's unclear whether Musk has formally been appointed by the administration of the U.S. DOGE entity created by a January 20 Trump executive order. The White House press office hasn't responded to multiple emails trying to seek clarification because, of course, they're not. And they won't. Such an appointment would weigh on whether Musk is obligated under ethics rules to publicly file a financial disclosure form. Also relevant to that determination is whether previous occupants of the administrative role at the DOGE predecessor agency, the U.S. Digital Service, were highly ranked enough in government service to fall under a mandated public release of the disclosed form. I know that that's a lot. The status of the other DOGE appointees dispersed to federal agencies is also unclear, even to staffers at those agencies. Some are now officially in employee databases, and they have government email addresses. Others have been entering agencies under visitor badges. Some staffers have reported having meetings with personnel who identify themselves as part of the political appointed team. Wired has reported that some of the staffers brought on with political appointees at the Office of Personnel Management appeared to be in their early 20s. I've been hearing a lot of rumors about this, that there's a lot of these folks, again, not ageist, but there's been a lot of folks who are well into their early 20s. I shouldn't say well into, only in their early 20s. Easy to corrupt. Give them access to the White House. Give them some sense of power, some authority here, right? You think they won't do everything you ask? Do you think that a 23-year-old... Wait, Press Secretary Leavitt, she's 27. Look at the stage she's on now. Look at the optic. Like, also, when people wear the big crosses around their necks, as she does in every single press briefing, just pay attention. The next time you see a presidential press briefing, she has a cross around her neck. It's very prominent. She wears it, right where you can see it. It's virtue signaling. But Justin, you don't know if she's a Christian or not. Well, I can tell you this. I don't know a single actual Christian, a real Christian, that would support or endorse what Donald Trump is doing, has done, will continue to do, and says he wants to do in the future. I don't know any. I don't know any real Christians who would say, yep, that's my guy. That's what we should be doing. Not a single one. Is that cross not getting a little hot? There, Miss Levitt, around your neck. But yeah, there's a bunch of 20-somethings that are apparently taking over the White House. Donald Trump's offering them certain positions because they will just follow like good little minions. They'll do exactly what what they're asked to do. They'll just show up, fall in line, boom, here we go. Let's just roll along. It's kind of sad, really. But more than that, it's scary. It's very scary. I mean, they're going after USAID, right? Gonna dismantle it. I wish I had the clip pulled up. I don't. They are still using the narrative on television, in interviews, saying there's $50 million worth of condoms going to Gaza. You know what's funny? The only condoms that were being sent to Gaza was the Gaza province in Mozambique. And the fact that these people don't know the difference in Gaza and Mozambique, but these are the people in charge. They're just regurgitating the same bull that they keep. They're fed it. They just give it back. They're fed it. They give it back. And if you voted for him, you're doing bad. You should feel bad. You were lied to. Are you surprised? I mean, you were lied to. I'm going to take one last quick break here before we come back for the last 20, 25 minutes or so. The third hour of Fact Run and Find Out, the stream. Radio for the rest of us. If you want to be part of the conversation, hit us up on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, in the comment section. The comment section. I can see them coming across the screen right here. Or you can be a part of the conversation by texting or calling in on the hotline. 731-388-9080. Sit tight. We'll be right back.
Don't start talking if you got out now. You'd hit the ground walking away unless you listen to what I've got to say. I'm tired of hearing about your terrible life. I'm living the exact same one, but on the other side of your voice. And I hate that I need to raise mine. Don't start talking if you got out now. You'd hit the ground walking away unless you
Welcome back in. Wrapping up the third and final hour of the show today. That's the breaking news just coming across. Apparently the FBI, under Kash Patel, they're saying this is from CNN. FBI officials have compiled names of about 5,000 employees who worked on January 6 cases, and they're turning them over to the Trump Justice Department. Because of course they are. FBI officials have complied with demands to provide the Justice Department with a list of thousands of employees who worked on investigations related to January 6, 2021, the U.S. Capitol riot, according to people familiar with the situation. We've said it was going to happen. They're going to, the guy that was so big on not being a part of lawfare, saying that's a problem. Who was upset, saying they were weaponizing the DOJ against him, is now doing the very same thing. The demand has caused some problems among FBI employees who fear it's meant to amass a list of personnel for possible termination by the new Trump administration. Acting Deputy Attorney General Emil Bove, B-O-V-E, in a Friday memo with the subject line terminations, has given FBI officials a noon deadline for today, Tuesday, to submit the names of thousands of agents and analysts. Previously, he ordered the firing of 8 senior FBI officials, including those who oversaw cyber, national security, and criminal investigations. More than 5,000 names were submitted. There are more than 13,000 agents and 38,000 total FBI employees. Meanwhile, officials dispatched by Elon Musk have been seen at FBI headquarters. Musk, obviously with Doge, is doing this. He was told to, he's asked to. Several FBI employees on Tuesday sued the Justice Department, according, they said that they're accusing it of violating the Constitution and privacy laws by demanding that agents complete a survey allegedly designed to purge Bureau personnel. Very American, right? The agents want a federal judge to block the Trump administration from publishing or releasing the surveys or any information, including their answers. Quote, the very act of compiling lists of persons who worked on matters that upset Donald Trump is retaliatory in nature. Intended to intimidate FBI agents and other personnel and to discourage them from reporting any further malfeasance, and by Donald Trump and his agents. That's what the lawsuit alleges. The survey agents were required to fill out included questions about their positions at the Bureau and specific roles in January 6 investigations, including whether they executed arrests, participated in grand jury investigations, or testified at trials. That's according to a copy of the survey included in the lawsuit. The lawsuit was brought by several anonymous FBI employees as a class action complaint. The effort to fire anyone involved in Trump-related probes has been slowed in part by pushback from agents, including some who are working with the new administrative officials, pushing for cultural changes at FBI headquarters that Kash Patel has promised. According to people familiar with the discussions, groups representing current and former agents reached out to congressional Republicans to urge the White House to abide by Patel's promise in his Senate hearing last week that agents would not face political retribution for working on cases that they were assigned to. That's a bunch of hogwash. You know that's not true. That's not what he's going to do. Memo on Friday, which came after the 8 firings of senior officials had already taken place, officially laid out what appears to be the process that Patel described in his testimony. Quote, upon receipt of the requested information, the Office of Deputy Attorney General will commence a review process to determine whether any additional personnel actions are necessary. Again, this is my surprised face. Of course they are. They're going to weaponize the DOJ. They're going to go after the people who they think went after J6. Rioters. Insurrectionists. That's what they're going to do. I know there's a lot going on out there right now. I know that a lot of people are upset and worried. I am. I'm upset. I am worried. All we can do is fight back, do our very, very best to speak truth to power. If you have to have a hard conversation with some loved ones who might be confused as to, I voted for this. Why is this happening this way? I didn't expect this exact thing to happen, but I voted for this person. Have the conversations. But don't be disappointed if you cannot. I appreciate you guys hanging out today. It is still Tuesday, February the 4th. A little bit of an overcast, kind of foggy day here in North Jackson. As I say every day to sign off, you don't know what anybody else is going through. You have no idea what that coworker dealt with last night or this morning before they came into work, what they're dreading leaving to go home to after work. You don't know. From the comments section, yeah, Rob, it is the dumbest timeline. It really is. I don't know if it was Harambe, as they joke about, or 9/11. I don't know, but something went awry, and now here we are. But be kind to one another. Punch a Nazi if you see one. Remind them that we had a world war about it. Literally everybody was there. We decided that they were bad, and we don't want that. We don't want that. Other than Nazis, be kind. Be nice to people. Again, you don't know what they're going through. Everybody's got their own personal battles. Everybody's got their own struggles. So do your best to show some kindness if you get an opportunity. Kindness, it costs nothing. It costs nothing at all. Hope you guys have a good rest of the day. Until tomorrow, I love you like chicken. I'll be back at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. I'll see you from 11 o'clock till 2 o'clock on Wednesday. Until then, take care of each other. And again, love you like chicken.